Play the music.
Yeah,
I've
never been more ready. Okay, here comes the music. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter if I play it because you guys can't hear it anyway. So,
do you want me to play?
Hello.
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 Yes!
We made it. We're finally recording.
After a short eternity.
This is what Justin says in most podcasts.
I'm waiting for
literally
Jordan
like every time we record a show.
After
But this time it wasn't the distance in between episodes.
Josiah moving.
It was just, mostly how long it took Jordan to set everything up that made it take forever.
It took less time for Josiah to drive to Idaho than it did to set up the audio right now.
Really throw a wrench in how we do things here.
Oh.
And the annoying thing is, we did it fine for Arizona when Josiah was there for.
That was so good. That worked so well.
I know.
I don't even remember how we did it.
We just
I just remember it working so well.
I don't even know how we did it. I think we had a smaller table at that point.
I think my favorite part about all of that is when Justin just screams Zoom call, like Zoom calls even existed back then.
Yeah,
they did.
Zoom,
they must have.
No, we were.
We did something.
We used Skype.
We definitely used Microsoft's version of Skype.
Microsoft's version of Skype.
Yeah.
As opposed to the non-Microsoft Skype.
I mean.
Yeah, the original Skype. Before it was owned by Microsoft, and they killed it.
Yep. And then Zoom was like, ooh, nice.
And now Skype is something exclusively used by foreigners.
And businessmen.
No, that's just WeChat.
That's true.
Foreigners use WeChat.
But like for business.
I don't know. Every time I have to interact with somebody out of the country via the internet, they want to use Skype. They want to Skype chat me.
Did you know there's 2 different apps? I learned this the other day.
For Skype?
Yeah.
There's Skype and Skype for Business.
Yes, it's so stupid because I was like, oh man, I can't route like video and audio separately on Skype. And then I did some research a couple weeks later, and it's like, oh, you need Skype for Business if you want to do those fancy features.
Yes, that is for business.
Oh my goodness.
No. If you're actually a Chinese person, you're on WeChat and WhatsApp. Like, in no way are you born in China and you're touching Skype.
True, Dan.
Because the Chinese government wants the apps that it could data mine, not stupid Skype that Microsoft tries to protect the data of its users.
Random news.
Yeah.
There was, what is it? We were trying to get TikTok not to, steal all of our information.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, certain executives have seen everyone's information.
Certain executives.
Only a couple people have seen it. It's not all over.
Which means all of the executives, all the way up to and including the president of China.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. Good job. Good job, TikTok.
Certain. When they say certain, they mean all.
Thanks, TikTok.
Yeah. Good job, TikTok.
Well, this episode, we have a guest.
Yay!
Our first guest in a very long time. Very long time.
Forever.
Where is he? I don't see him.
He is here in California with us.
In California?
In California.
You can do an Idaho guest next week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Good luck setting that up.
Yeah. I mean, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'm really good at things like that.
Yeah. Josiah will just he'll drag Jedi in and be like, okay, Jedi.
Jedi would be a great guest.
Now's your time to shine.
Yeah.
Tell me about your favorite TV show.
Jedi walked on FaceTime when we were setting up, and he said, hi. And I said, hi. And he said, I'm Spider-Man. And I said, what? I'm Spider-Man. And I was like, oh, you're Spider-Man, because he was wearing a Spider-Man outfit.
He is Spider-Man.
Yeah. And then I said, I thought you said, you're a farty man.
You thought he said, I'm farty man?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, no.
Which, honestly, he may have said that. Like, it's within the realm of possibilities. It's something he would have said.
It might have been.
And then I looked at him and I said, Jedi. I said, Jedi, you have a spider on your shirt. And he goes, ah! But he was in on the joke, too. So it was funny.
He was totally playing along.
Yeah. It was good. It was a good time. But back to our guest. We have our guest. It's our father.
Wow.
Father Patrick.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the ASMR Memorial Studios.
Why do you keep calling it that? Justin really wants to go back.
What does that
and
even
do
mean?
He really wants to do
ASMR roulette?
Yes.
That's
nice.
Funny.
Yes.
That was my favorite segment.
We
we've
could-
That
ever
was
done.
my least favorite segment.
We
ever
could have
done.
some sick ear licking reviews.
Ear licking. No, I don't want to think of the dentist one. I don't even mind going to the dentist. That was just horrible to hear.
Oh my gosh. So, literally, that just happened to me.
You went to the dentist?
I just went to the dentist
That's good.
for the first time
That's good.
in
Good job.
in a minute,
You got to go every 6 months.
and I tell the lady, I say, I have paranoia. Like I didn't even
You
make
actually
eye
said that?
contact. I looked at the ground and handed her a 3x5 note card.
No, you didn't.
That said, I have really bad paranoia about going to the dentist. Please do your best to assuage my fears. And I'm on the edge of flipping out right now.
Did you say
And she was
I
like,
want you to do
what
the
does
cleaning.
assuage mean?
Yeah.
I want you calm. I want you to do the procedure, but I will freak out. I am in the process
What
of
did you have
freaking out
done?
right now.
What did you have done?
A deep cleaning. So,
That's it?
Oh, they went deep.
That's it?
well, okay.
And you had to say, I have a
So
panic attack?
after I've told her I am basically having a small panic attack just being in this office, and I have a big one as soon as you start.
I'm going to have a pink one.
She's like, okay, well, let me give you the shot. So they get, and I tell her, I'm like, look, last time you did the other half, again, I have anxiety and I could feel it the whole time. So I don't know how to tell you other than I'm not telling you not to do it, but I could feel all of the sensation of you sticking a metal knife underneath my gums
It's not even a knife.
the entire time.
It's just a cleaning.
It's just a metal needle.
Why?
It's a pick.
Why is Justin's entire life this way?
Like just telling people.
No, I
"Hi,
was trying to be
walking
very
in
clear with
somewhere,
her.
I have problems. Please help me.
So then
But he's
she
like
said,
a businessman
I
and
feel
a
like
manager.
we've had this story
I-
before.
He
She
can
said-
public
but he
speak
was at-
perfectly
she said,
fine.
okay, I'll numb you really good this time.
Hi, I don't struggle with public speaking.
So she
But-
numbs me right in the bridge of my mouth. Like right where your,
In
that
the
little
bridge?
that flap that connects your front top lip to your gums.
Oh yeah, Liam
That
had that
little-
removed.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they shot me right in my cleft lip. They gave me a good stab right there, and my whole eye like flinched. And you're not supposed to move at all when you're feeling extreme vitriolic pain right in your gum hole.
Oh,
She gives me a good jab and says, "Let's try that." So I'm sitting there waiting for it to get numb, and because she's like, "Well, that's the worst part, right? It's all over. Easiest thing ever." And I said, "Lady, we'll see." So after being told explicitly
We'll
that
see.
I have horrifying anxiety, she sits next to me, and in 150 degrees of the center of my eyeballs, she sits there in my peripheral visions and sharpens her implements on a stone, just sitting there. Shh, shh.
this didn't happen. What dentist are you at?
I promise you, she's sitting
You
there.
don't
She had
sharpen
a
them.
brown sharpening stone.
No, that doesn't happen.
No,
She's
nobody
actually-
sharpens their
I
dentist
promise
tools.
You went to a butcher.
right in front of me. I'm sitting
Justin,
there, nary
Justin,
but
I have a question
24
for you.
What is
inches
this,
from
back
my
at-
lips.
I have a
Back
question.
alley dentistry.
She is
Yeah,
sitting
like
there.
when you walked into the building, what did the front of the building say? Like,
What did the back of it
above the
say?
door?
It said.
Did it say butcher shop?
It said,
did it
said
say
veal, lamb chops, and dentistry.
Okay, yeah,
So
I think
no,
I think you went to the
I'm-
wrong one.
After being told
No one
The eye
sharpens anything.
was going to freak
That's
out
not a
and
thing.
run
They don't
out of the
sharpen
building
it.
screaming and bleeding.
There's nothing to sharpen. You have picks.
I guarantee you she's sitting there sharpening them.
No, she's
Do you-
opening
She
up
wasn't. That's not
sterile
a
products.
thing.
No, she actually was sharpening
No,
her little
she
metal hooks. I'll bring you with me next
This
time.
is Justin like
I'll
about
take you
to
with
pass
me.
out from.
I don't even have to make
from
this stuff
fear.
up.
He's just
I'm not
hallucinating
creating this
things.
situation.
He's just panicking, seeing all this stuff in his peripheral because he's
I'm
hyped
going
up
to-
on drugs.
I'm gonna take a picture and be like,
Oh
look
my
at what
gosh!
happened.
She has a grinding stone on a wheel. She's pedaling.
You
And
know what?
She's
I-
like sitting there
I
pedaling
don't
it.
even need to defend myself.
Oh my gosh.
Because it happened
Can
at
somebody
me.
turn up Justin's headphones? I think he might be a little too quiet.
Dad turned his down. That was amusing to watch.
Oh gosh, welcome to the Justin Yells show.
So father,
So Father,
we've talked a lot about our experiences over the years
Yes.
growing up. And we wanted to get your perspective on those certain experiences and see what was going through your mind.
Either which one was the worst one that you heard, or B, what's one we haven't told that's equally as terrible that you think should
Yeah. That you remember that we haven't talked about yet.
I'm not quite sure you haven't talked about them all.
So here's one I don't think I've talked about. What was your reaction when I pooped in the closet? Have we talked about this one? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes, we've talked about it?
At great length.
Okay. So to recap, I was maybe 6 to 8, somewhere in there.
You were 13.
No, definitely not 13. Closet wasn't that clean when we were 13. So, and then I go basically between, there was a closet and then a bunk bed kind of parallel with that. I lean against the bunk bed.
So Dad walks into a 13-year-old's closet.
Leave a log on the floor. And then I don't even know how he heard. How did you hear about
Someone else told him.
me plopping on the floor?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't. Did I clean it up?
Yes.
I don't even remember that.
So that's being the fifth child is
I have blocked all of that badness out of my mind.
nothing
I
phases
guess.
you anymore when it's just you have so many kids and just picking up poop.
Yeah. So
It's true. I can't tell you how many diapers I've changed now.
So here I did receive a question from a listener on the subject though.
Okay.
Which one of your what were some of the benefits or drawbacks from having a house filled with 5 boys?
The drawbacks? Well, the benefit was I only had to have one extra bathroom.
Oh, there
That's true. Yeah.
And only
one extra bedroom.
and only I didn't have to have another bedroom for a female person. It was like
it was efficient.
Pretty much. It's like you could just stuff them all in one space, and it didn't matter. They all had the same parts.
There was 2 of us. There was Jeremy and Justin in one bedroom.
Yeah,
And in the other bedroom there was Jacob, Josiah, and Jordan in there.
yeah. It was the bunk bed, and then the.
But you guys purchased the house with only 4 kids in mind?
There wasn't a number in anybody's mind.
there
when we
was no-
purchased the house.
Josiah was on the way, right? Was that what?
Maybe.
Like,
Let's see, because the other house that we were in, there was Jeremy and Justin already. Now Jacob would have been coming, I think,
Oh, okay.
or maybe Jacob was just getting born or something.
So,
How long have you lived in that house?
40 years.
40 years.
Okay.
has it really been 40 years?
20 years, 40 years? I don't
Josiah's
remember.
30
40.
something.
It's 25. I don't remember when
If
we
it's
got there.
40, it's definitely not 40.
Well, let's see.
'Cause-
Who was born at that house?
I was and Josiah was.
Josiah
Yeah.
and Jordan.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's at least
It's at least 32.
I was curious where their mindset
Yeah,
was,
okay.
like at the number of kids. Okay, we have 3 kids and 3 bedrooms. Well,
No, 2 bedrooms at that point.
2 extra bedrooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
so you figured, well, we have 2 kids and another one soon
Yeah.
and 2 bedrooms.
And 2 bedrooms. Yeah.
So
We're good.
So probably 6, right?
Well, because you had the 2 boys with the 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Then there was the other room that was kind of the office room that was connected with the master bedroom, and that was like the nursery room.
Mm-hmm.
So there was
you could technically have 3 kids, and each one had its own room.
yeah.
And then there were.
So there was 3 kids, and it sounds like there was like this equilibrium with the environment.
Yes.
I see. So with 3 kids and equilibrium, what we did was we stacked in 2 more.
Josiah and I came.
Yes.
And because when you paired Josiah and Jordan with somebody, you found the older brother who always seeks equilibrium with his environment and added them all together. Like if I would say anything about Jacob, it's that he seeks to just be at complete homogeny. Like really, you barely notice if he's in the room, right?
What Jacob are you talking about?
Is this my brother Jacob we're speaking of? Or
Yes.
And is this like when he's a grown up adult?
So,
or is this when we lived with him?
With all 5 of them, with all 5 kids in different rooms, would you swap the pairings? Would you Rubik's cubes the kids in any way differently? You know how they have like the little move 2 matchsticks and make a box. Like would it with the benefit of hindsight? Which would you have swapped any kids around to make sure they cause as little property or damage as possible?
Is that even possible? I don't even know if their swapping would help.
No, swapping would not have helped.
I actually have two thoughts on this. I think there is 2 combinations that could have potentially helped.
Okay.
One, you split it. So you do evens and odds. You do Justin and I in the small room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jeremy, Jacob, and Jordan in the big room.
Jeremy and Jacob would have annihilated.
And here's why.
Here's my dream matchup.
Here's why. I'll tell you. I've thought about this. This is not just me making stuff up. I've thought about this. So if you do it this way, Jacob and Jeremy, they're just going to kill each other. And then you only have 3 kids.
And then Jordan gets his own room.
And then Jordan gets his own room. So
honestly, if Jeremy and Jacob, I know for a fact that time travel does not get ever invented in my lifetime because I was completely unable to pay enough money to have Jeremy and Jacob share a room. Just the 2 of them. Just Jeremy and Jacob in a room together. Just full stop. They in the big room. I would share the small room with Josiah and Jordan and have mats on the floor just for the outside opportunity. In the big room, there was the fewest number of people possible.
It would be a brawl in there.
Even with just you and Jeremy in that one room, there was enough damage done. Can you imagine? There wouldn't be any windows left. The wall would be perforated from either them punching each other or punching the wall out of frustration or something.
But
there would be no door on the hinges.
Oh, goodness.
Now,
we could have done me, Justin, and Jacob because Jeremy and Jordan, Jeremy's not going to mess with Jordan, and they'll be fine together.
But Jacob and Justin
would have been able to keep. But Justin would have been able to keep Jacob in better check in the room.
Oh man, I don't know. That'd be rough.
Yeah.
And Jacob would still antagonize Josiah.
I don't know. I just think that would be like you know how we always love to do our I'm always eager to do another death match on this show, or as other people call them, debates. But
Justin's calling them death match.
Like the debate that would happen in that. Oh my gosh, that would be so magnificent.
That'd be crazy.
So the other question I was asked by a listener was, which one of your kids would you say? The term was spoke, but we'll just say developed linguistically the quickest. Which one of the kids started talking the first? The soonest?
Probably you, Justin.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I talked the soonest.
I have a question on top of that.
Okay.
What was the craziest thing you heard Justin say as a kid?
I can't say that on the microphone.
I could edit it out if it's that bad.
We'll just
No,
say
as a kid,
Well,
not as an adult.
we'll just say it out loud, and whatever it is, we'll have the audio go completely dark, and then
we'll all just be laughing.
yeah, we'll just promise that no one will ever hear
Okay,
it.
what was a good thing? But not the craziest thing.
Well, the one that is most that
This is going to
everyone's
get dropped,
recalled
Jordan.
the best.
This is going to get dropped. This has to.
Which one?
No, well, the one that at least is the best in my mind, because there was a couple, but I was not present for a number of them that happened when the mother was out with the child. But when I was out with the child and we were at the kind of the place, the old folks' home, for lack of a better term, visiting one of my grandparents.
Your grandparents.
Yeah, well, actually, it was Janet's grandparents.
Oh, thank you.
So, but it's like, but a grandparent to Janet and I.
Gotcha.
And when we were there, and after we had left the room that the grandmother was in, and we went out kind of into like a lobby area where there was the other residents were hanging out watching TV, and
A foyer.
yes, and they were just glad to see, like, oh, there's fresh people there. Hello,
Hello, young child.
somebody new.
Someone
And-
new.
Oh, the innocence of youth. Hello.
And the Justin, making sure that he was known.
I introduced myself. Hello.
Says, and it's like, what's your name? My name is Justin. And it's like, and I'm as tall as my daddy's penis, because he was standing right next to me, right, and his head was right at that height. And the old,
I'm this tall.
and the old man in the chair is like just cracking up. It's like, oh, that's the best thing I've heard in days.
How old was Justin?
I don't know, 3, 4, 4,
4 years.
4
Yes, you developed the fastest.
4 or 5, something. I don't know. So
I mean, to be that tall, you're probably
I mean,
what?
Clearly.
Like 5 or 6.
I don't know.
like how tall is Saya, right?
Yeah, I mean, he about that tall.
Okay.
He's
but
about that tall.
See, I'm no good with the ages and how old
Well,
kids were when
Josiah
stuff
just has
was
a
going
reference
on.
pool, like
Yeah.
not, but 30 feet from him.
True.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you start
Get-
measuring, really.
Wake him up, shake him, get him in here. Let's measure him.
No, he would not be excited about that. He is sleeping.
Shake him.
So that was that's probably the most memorable one in my head.
Did he ever say it again?
No.
No.
It was just a one time.
No,
It never came up again.
You only needed that one reference, or you grew, so you had to get a new reference. point.
Yeah, it
I'm as
hip,
tall. I'm
Yeah.
as tall as my daddy's hip
waist,
now.
belly button.
Yeah, I kept going up from
it
that.
was just accurate, Because
2 weeks later, oh yeah, it's just belly button.
the old people ask you what your name is, and they,
They didn't ask you.
How old are you? Eh?
yeah,
How tall are you?
sure. They ask you tons of fun questions, and you just reply honestly and respectfully.
Did they ask you how tall you were?
Yes,
No.
that just
No.
happened.
No, nobody asks
no,
you
it's
how
like
tall
probably
you
how
are.
old you were. and
They
it's
know how
like,
tall you
I'm
are. They're looking at you.
I'm 5 years old, and I'm as tall as my daddy's penis. Right? Who knows?
Why would you
Jeez.
say that, Justin?
Because they asked,
What?
and I wanted to tell them in a helpful way. I'm sorry for being a good
They didn't
interviewee.
ask. No one asks how tall you are, unless you're like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, unless you're above
Oh,
6'5",
man.
nobody cares how tall you are.
Okay, but like, entonces, if we happen to be like, think about it. How much stuff does Josiah's kids say that they don't hear their parents say?
That they don't hear their parents say.
Right? The things that come out
A
of
lot.
Josiah's kids' mouth are things they heard their parents say. Period.
No, that Jedediah says some wild things that I've definitely never said before.
But you don't know if he hasn't heard. He has two parents.
Who said them then?
You don't know. What has he said? What has Jedi said that you don't say? Or Jenny?
I would have to start writing them down, but I'll start making notes of the crazy things he says.
Okay.
So next time we record, I'll
You have to
present the
promise
list.
me that you'll be honest with what he said and whether or not you and Jenny have said it.
Oh yeah, I don't care. I got nothing to hide. He's hilarious.
Honestly,
he says wild things. They make me laugh.
Because we're just a cipher for our parents' upbringing. That there really is, where else would they get that information from? Like,
I don't know.
Like, did
A television show?
Paw
A friend?
Patrol? Yes, I'm sure that Spike or Roger or Spot or Drooly or Chip. Is his name Chip? Is that the police officer?
Literally none of those names are Paw Patrol.
Isn't it
characters.
Chip?
Or Scoop or Tolly or...
Still none.
No, there's no Spot either.
None
No.
of them?
No.
I really thought we got
What?
one.
Or
The police officer is Chase.
Chase!
Oh, Chase, that's right.
Oh, jeez. They're hard names.
I thought it was Chip.
How do the kids remember these?
He's a
feel like-
police officer. He literally chases criminals.
look,
it's,
in our
it's
shows-
in the name.
I feel like Justin was just the guy from Home Alone, where he's at and he's naming all the guys off.
No,
and then there's the fire dog. His name is Marshall, like a fire marshal. Like they're in the name.
No, because in when I was growing up, our children's shows had monosyllabic names that all just described what you were. Like,
That's what these guys are.
like it was just like
Yeah.
Oscar and Telly
Like
and
Chase.
Count and Snuffy and Bird and
Snuffleupagus.
What about
Bert,
the Pee Wee
Oscar?
Herman guys? The Cherry and
Oscar? What does Oscar have to do with...
Cherry and Fishy
Oscar.
and Dory
just
and
Oscar? All Oscars are mean old men in trash cans. That's what that describes.
I like how that was his first example, and it like doesn't mean anything. It doesn't.
they
help
didn't
his
even
point
name
at
him
all.
Grouchy. Like they have Big Bird and Snuffleupagus, which is just big nose, right? And they have Elmo, which just means red in Finnish.
It does? Are you serious?
Sure, why not? But then you have Oscar.
I mean, he's green and in a trash can.
Yeah. Like they just chose these names out of a hat.
Yeah.
Like you got to figure Jim Henson was just like, you know, he probably like think about when they started the show, okay? Like about the 70s, right?
I have no idea.
They started Sesame Street in like 1968, okay?
Okay.
I
I'm
guarantee
pretty sure it was like 1 year after that.
Yeah,
I-
just like right in the 70s.
I guarantee you
really good.
that they what knowing what we know about like Project Blue Book and everything,
Yeah.
and what they were doing like during Stranger Things with the remote viewing.
Yeah, Project
there is
Mockingbird,
no
yeah.
way that Jim Henson wasn't doing LSD when he was like, all right, hey, give me some colored pencils and a name book, and we're gonna make some Sesame Street characters.
I don't think you can come up with Snuffleupagus.
I
without
guarantee
being-
he turned on Jimi Hendrix, took a tab of acid, and just went to town and was like, "This is a Snuffleupagus. We're doing this.
He looks...
Okay.
We film tomorrow."
Okay. I've got a question for Dad.
Go ahead.
Tell me.
So we broke a lot of things, being 5 boys in a house, being crazy.
Yeah.
Out of all the things we broke, what was probably the saddest thing or the most irreplaceable thing that we broke and or lost is one part of the question, and then what was the most expensive thing that we broke and or lost?
I probably, my guess would be maybe the windows. I mean, just from expense, but I don't. As far as the other things that got lost, other than the talk boy or whatever it was that got tossed out the window.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah, that's the irreplaceable one.
Yeah, but that wasn't like your stuff. Like what? We never broke any of your stuff.
No, I kept my stuff up high.
That's funny.
Stuck in the garage. Now, sometimes things got used and I couldn't find them, and I went on a rant when I couldn't find them. But we won't even get into that whole conversation.
I think one of the most irreplaceable things that got broken was the tree that didn't used to have a gaping hole. There's a 50-year-old maple tree in the backyard that had a completely laminar skin, a completely unbroken, unvarnished virgin skin that was completely smooth to the touch.
Yep.
And then after, I would say Josiah and Jordan were like 6 or 7.
No, this was teenage years.
Oh, teenage year. Yeah. I would say that would be something that can never come back.
This is like, I was 16, Josiah was like going on 18 probably.
I would say taking the axe end of the pickaxe to a tree.
This was the pick end of the pickaxe.
To a tree to the point where it's a gaping 12-inch gash wide by 36 inches. It's just this massive...
I was back there with Josiah Jr. and Jedi.
If anybody's watched Stranger Things, this thing looks like a portal to the Upside Down.
It does. There's like a million snails in it now. And I pointed to Jedi and Josiah and I said, your daddy and I made that scar in the tree. And they're like,
that's
what?
True.
They're like,
we did that.
You guys
Except
did
it
that?
wasn't me at all. It was just Jordan.
That's not true. The thing that was only me was the metal plate.
The thing that's weird about the tree, though, is like when human scars, usually they get less predominant. Mm-hmm. The tree scar just gets worse and worse looking. It gets, because the outside crust gets more and it gets deeper and crazier looking.
It looks wild now because it was just like a scar in the tree on the surface. Now it's like you can reach your hand in there.
Yeah.
So I can only assume that you guys beat relentlessly a 12-inch hole the first time you did it.
It was only one time.
You didn't just hit that once.
Jordan, let me remind you of another thing. We hit that tree with more than one item.
What did we hit it with?
If you remember with me,
I don't know.
There was a...
We do know that Jordan's memory of the whole event is rather hazy.
No, I remember.
12-foot... It was probably about 10 or 12 feet long, and it was a branch from the tree.
That had like a hammer end?
It had a hammerhead.
Yeah. I remember that.
And Jacob was out there with us, and we were just like swinging that thing, like spinning in circles, and then just like slamming it into the tree in that same spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that spot has been hit with more than one item. I think the branch of the tree hit did more damage than the pickaxe.
Do you remember?
The pickaxe actually did not damage the tree that much. I think most of that was from the branch.
I'm pretty sure the pickaxe did a lot of damage too. That was a lot. It was pretty intense.
You girdled the tree.
Do you remember just when we were throwing Dad's axe in the backyard and then the head came flying off?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that until you talked about throwing that. And then we went to Lowe's or Home Depot and repaired the axe.
Yeah,
Poorly.
Because we broke his axe and we didn't we just wanted the axe to be fixed when he got home because we were like,
was it a new axe?
We were like,
no, same axe head. We got the like axe tree branch that they sell and shoved it in the axe head again.
You got the new
and then just like
handle.
put it
new
away.
Handle, yeah.
So you didn't just go buy a pack of shims and like stuff one down.
We didn't just buy a new axe for $5 more.
You got a new handle.
We got a new handle so we wouldn't get caught.
And you loosely kind of like tipped the axe head.
No. It's probably on still to this day rather than the other one flying off at us.
But did you break the handle?
No. I don't know, actually.
I think...
Did we break the handle or did it fly off? I think we may have broke.
The handle broke.
Oh, the handle broke.
Because when you were pounding stuff with it,
throwing the axe,
but it hit on the instead of hitting the axe head, it hit the handle.
That's
and cracked
right.
the handle.
Yeah, that's right. So it
didn't pop off.
It hit
we
in the
broke
center.
the whole thing.
Yeah, and then we had to drill out the old axe head or handle.
Yeah,
that was a rough day.
So you
I
guys are
think
just
Sean
sitting
McDowell
there.
was with us for that.
Oh, nice.
You guys are just sitting there drilling an axe head.
Yeah. Because it was like, oh, shoot, we broke it. Now we got to fix Dad's axe.
Yeah, before he gets home from work. So
Yeah.
we like
And then put
we
it
went
back.
over. I think we just went over to Lowe's.
Yeah.
Got an axe handle, fixed it, and then put it away, and never said a word about it.
See,
Until many moons later.
like a man, I never broke an axe head or hit.
You've never touched an axe.
I could touch an axe. I've used Melissa's axe.
You've used whose axe?
I have not broken a window.
Sorry,
I have not
whose
kicked
axe
a
is it?
hole in the wall. I
haven't done either of those things.
I was
either.
completely non-destructive. The only thing I broke was people's faces. That's it. That none of the house, none of the tree.
Well, so I was going to ask about Dad. What was your reaction when Justin put Jeremy in check?
Accidentally,
With your fist?
when I accidentally,
So
when I made a mistake
So the story is
that could have happened to anyone when your eyes are closed.
swinging your fist at their face.
No, just kind of like you know when you like flail, you know, like when you see a dog paddling through the water. That was an accident.
I was like-
that could have happened to anyone.
I'm gonna go now.
Like if I dangled you from the stairs upside down over the banister.
Remember when you used to do that a lot?
But when I would dangle you head first, if you fell onto your head and smashed your skull, it's not like I did that on purpose.
You hung me upside down over the stairwell.
I just accidentally hung you over the banister upside down.
but it
head
was
first.
It was fun. It was fun for me. I was laughing while doing it. And now Justin is very overprotective of me, not only because he regrets doing that, but because I passed out in front of him. We already talked about that story, I think. But yeah, now Justin's very protective of me. I don't know when the transition happened. I don't know. Was it the passing out?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. When you see your youngest brother die in front of you, eyes rolled back. I have another question for Dad. How in the world did you take us all on vacation?
Camping.
Camping. And
Yeah, not only how, but like why?
yeah. And then I realized you're sitting in the van. You're like, why is Dad mad? And then you become
why
adult.
is
And you're
he
like,
constantly
you're like,
yelling?
why would he even bring us on vacation?
Yeah.
Because that's what Mom wanted to do.
So
What
so
a nice man.
We would go camping, and so you put all 5 of us into an Astro van. I'm trying to think of who. Let's see who sat next to Jacob.
I did. It was Jacob, me, and then you in the back row.
And then I was next to the doorway because I was the youngest one.
Oh, in like a car seat, basically.
Yeah.
And then after the street sweeper hit us and I was next to the doorway, I sat then in the middle of the middle car, middle seat, and I was
You
like,
sat-
nobody's gonna hit me in this
You
car.
sat in the center.
in the center of the vehicle, and I was like, I'm protected now. No street sweepers coming our way.
So when you were camping with 5 boys in a tent in the pitch black of the Northern California winter, at what point were you affirmed in your decision to travel 1,000 miles to do that?
That was the last time we did that. And it was actually summertime, but we were up in Northern California in the redwoods, and it gets cold up there even in the summertime when the sun goes away.
And wet.
And there's with the trees, and there's no moon, and there's no lights, and yeah, when the sun goes down, it was just, you couldn't see the hand in front of your face. And we had a 10-person tent. I think it was like a 10-person tent, but it was like
7 to 10, it said.
yeah, but it was
The
like
7 to 10.
But that's it if you're laying on top of each other, maybe.
Yeah.
And we were all jammed in there like a jigsaw puzzle, and with that many, what was that? 7 of us in that tent, and the all of the heat coming off the bodies and the breathing and everything, and the inside of the tent,
It's just
because
this
it was cold outside,
mist.
so there was condensation forming on the inside of the tent, running down the walls and dripping on.
That all came out of somebody's mouth at one
yeah.
point.
That's pretty much what it was.
That
So,
it would rise from your body, right? it was everybody's like body evaporate that would hit the cool tent and condensate and then trickle that back down to the edges and just kind of pond on the tarp of the bottom of the tent.
I'm just surprised I've been to the Redwoods.
I think somebody
Yeah, I don't
Like-
have any memory of this trip.
You were there.
one of the younger ones wet themselves in the middle of the night.
That's
so
right, Josiah.
You're trying to
Probably me.
So now there's the
Get
smell
them.
of human waste. Exhale.
it was hot and sweaty and just it was
Was there like a hollow tree we played in as like a fort?
There was the stump. There was like the 12-foot stump of an old redwood tree. It was 12 feet in the air, but it was like an old dead tree that was next to our tent.
Did we play in it?
Or on around it, yeah.
Everybody's perspective when you're that small,
I
all
think
the things much are much
I think the one that
bigger.
they would have been in was like the tree stump that they would be inside of would be like at Uncle Tom and Aunt Sharon's. That's the one you could climb up and into and kind of had a little
there was
nook
probably
down
more
at
of
the
that
bottom
there.
of. And that was a little bit smaller, but Josiah would have actually been able to climb it and get into it.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess I do remember pieces of this trip because that is a small piece, but
I don't remember.
Do you remember waking up and being damp? Do you remember? And just hearing like heavy breathing leaned up against the tent, like.
And I think we only stayed in that tent one night, and then the next night we were at Tom and Sharon's house or something like that, and we're sleeping on the floor at their
Dad
house.
got a hotel
You think
room.
like, wow, that tent was so much fun. Let's never do that again. Like somebody's smelling Josiah's hair. Josiah's hair is like getting lifted off his body towards the side of the tent.
Why did you pee? Why did you pee?
I'm not going to say that he attracted predation, okay? But that area is definitely crawling with like, various 8 to 9 foot death dealers.
Those are bears.
Yeah, they'll show up to like peel the side of your car open.
Not Bigfoot.
And we had gotten there. I don't even know if we took the Astro or if it was the minivan.
That was probably the Caravan.
So in the Caravan, which would mean there would have only been not Jordan. 7 seats,
no,
not
Jordan
8.
would have been there.
7
I
seats in the
think we're
Caravan.
There's 7 of us.
There's seven of
yeah.
us.
7. 5 plus mom, dad. 7.
I don't remember how many kids we had at that point.
I was alive for the Caravan. I think
If
the wood
I
panel.
remember it at all, Jordan had to have been there because
Yeah.
we're only a year and a half apart.
That's not
if
a savant.
Well, I have memories of the house before you guys were alive where I was only 3, apparently. So I have...
Yeah, but that's not a year and a half.
And you're a savant, so makes sense.
No, I don't have a photographic memory. I have an eidetic memory.
What does that mean?
I have a photographic memory.
I was like, what does that mean then? You're a different kind of savant?
But the Dodge Caravan, how much longer did you wait? Did you keep the Dodge Caravan after somebody sliced their arm trying to gain illegal access into the vehicle and bled profusely all over the passenger seat? How long was that car still around?
Oh, at least a couple more years.
A couple more years?
Yeah, it still ran.
Oh,
It still ran.
Yeah, they
So-
fixed
Blood
it.
didn't
Got,
stop.
got a new mirror for it, and put the sheet metal back kind of the way it goes, and washed off the blood with the peroxide and stuff, and we're fine.
We're fine.
The car still so.
I mean, Dad's current car has like 300,000 miles on it, so this totally tracks.
not quite.
Shoot.
So if the Caravan was still moving,
Yeah, that's pretty much the cars stayed there until they could no longer move forward. Engine was done.
So you would say that it gave what would clue you in that it was time to get rid of a car was being towed behind another car with rope.
With a big yellow strap.
No, that wasn't even a sign of it, because it was when you couldn't resurrect it anymore. That you towed the car home, I resurrected it and kept driving it to work. No, it was the fact where
Didn't
it was
we
totally
tow with the
undrivable.
caravan?
Pardon me? Yeah.
Didn't we use the caravan to tow like your Subaru or something?
Yes. Well,
So-
there was 2 different cars I think got towed.
With a big yellow strap.
So your car breaks down. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're stranded now.
Yes.
And the solution was to tie 2 pieces of string to another vehicle and have vehicle number 2 pull your car home, correct?
Yes.
And you're more than a mile away from home?
Oh, at least.
Okay, so you have to get 5,280 feet, okay, or more, with nothing but 2 pieces of string connecting these 2 vehicles.
Yeah. Wait.
And no way to communicate verbally between the 2 cars because this is before cell phones.
Yes.
So there's no way for the 2 drivers to hear each other or interact in any way.
Well, other than having the windows rolled down and me screaming forward, which didn't work,
Okay, so there was no way for the 2 drivers to hear each other at all.
pretty much.
So how well did the rope solution work?
It got us home, but there was 2 pieces of rope and one of them did not stay intact. But we did get home.
How long did the first piece of rope last?
I think the second or third launch off of a stop.
About 20 feet.
No. We got down, went to a stop, started up again. It was like go slowly, come up slowly.
No, go slowly.
It's like
The
it's
instruction
just like
mentally.
that.
No.
Yeah,
Out the window.
The slack in the rope gets snapped, and it's like,
So you see the rope pop up
So-
after stop number 2.
so yeah.
And you think to yourself, in your
We should
head,
keep going.
at that moment, are you thinking, oh yeah, this is going to work?
I had no choice. The car died at the drive-in theater over on Mission in Pomona.
Oh.
The drive-in theater.
Gotta get out.
It was across the street from there where somebody pointed out the fact that there was fire coming out from under the car because
Somebody a good Samaritan
says, "Hey, there's fire."
This movie's not interactive.
So I pulled because we were in the typical coming home traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm putting along, and somebody kind of is pointing at it, going. And I finally realized that, there is smoke coming up from underneath the car, and I pull off to the side and I open the hood, and there's fire actually coming out. So
I've never experienced
I run
that.
to the little Mexican restaurant and I go, do you have a fire extinguisher? And the guy's like, no. And so I run back to
This
the
is
car.
back in the day.
I go, and in the passenger side, there was a bottle of Gatorade, the larger quart bottle. And so I got that out and I poured it on the flames as best I could and thought, well, that didn't get me very far, and was looking for something else to pour on it and whack it with rags and stuff. And then one of the workers came out from the restaurant with one of those 5-gallon buckets full of water.
Nice.
There you go.
And I said, yeah, and he hands it to me. He's like, no, you pour it on because you know where you're going to want it, right? If I pour it on and it goes wrong,
Basically,
I
if
don't
you
want you
ruin
blaming
it,
me.
but here's
Yeah.
water that you can
Yeah.
use.
You do.
So I poured it on there. That put out the fire, which it's like, okay, glorious, like that.
He saved the car.
So, and then it was call mom, say, hey, I need you to come here, bring the rope.
Who was with you? Was anyone with you?
No,
he's
I
alone.
I was driving. I had driven home from. This was one of the rides when I worked out in Northridge.
Oh.
2 hours away.
That-
So you had driven 2 hours and you're 15 minutes from home.
Yes.
You're 15 minutes
And-
away out of
and
a 2.5-hour trip.
And it finally lit up at that point, slowly poking through the traffic.
So you had watched it for 2 hours, just kind of hit that red line and keep on going on the temperature gauge?
No, it wasn't temperature this time. That was a different time.
No, this isn't temperature. This is fire.
This was fire, because what had happened is the way the exhaust system routed right underneath one of the CV boots on the front axle. A CV boot is like a rubber boot that's on the joint that allows the front steering to work before it connects to the engine. Well, that boot had gotten dried out and cracked, and there's a bunch of grease in it. So now once that cracks open, as it spins around, it flings the grease out onto the hot exhaust system. So that
Great design.
finally there was enough grease buildup over the weeks after it had cracked and stuff, and it got enough grease on it, and the catalytic converter got hot enough that grease finally caught fire, and that's what was burning under the car
gosh.
as I'm trying to drive
So
home
you
in the
poured
traffic.
a bunch of water
On-
on a grease fire.
No, it was the Gatorade first.
It was the Gator, but
He
the,
poured
the
sugar
grease
on it
fire,
first.
The grease fire was like that. It wasn't like oil. It was like gloppy grease.
Tarry.
It was like tar. So yes, that's what poured on
Oh,
there. And
gosh.
it was far enough away that it didn't matter what, So, but we got it. But then we drug it home, going across those. When you go across Euclid, there's some of the places where there's the big dips.
Oh, yeah.
As you go through the
Yeah.
intersection.
Oh, yeah.
And it was go through the dip, across one half of Euclid, through two more dips, through, and then across the other half of Euclid, two more dips.
Oh my gosh.
At pretty good speed there, and I'm watching the signal going, oh, it's yellow, oh geez, well, keep going, do not stop, do not stop.
Did you have any brakes?
No,
Mr.
well,
E-brake?
oh no, I had brakes, yeah, but it's like,
He would have hit
I-
the other car every time they stopped if he didn't have brakes.
yeah, but it was just like, nope, just no brakes, just keep rolling.
And there's 6 feet between the cars, which means he has to brake like...
I didn't know what kind of breakage he had.
Yeah, I did have brakes, not a whole lot because it's power brakes and the engine wasn't running,
Yeah.
so you really had to like lean on it. But that was the get the car home and drug it home and got it all working. I think there was a little bit of wires that had to be opened up and taped up, but other than that, once I cleaned the grease off of things, and it ran fine. So yeah, it's like I put a Mickey Mouse boot on it and greased it up again and ran it until it. Well, that didn't light up. Something else happened to it. So.
It caught on fire a second time.
No, that I had it the belt break so that the water pump had stopped another time on the way home, but I wasn't as near home, so I had to drive it with the temperature gauge already slammed up to the max, and I still had to keep going because I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my gosh.
And I drove it to the Kragen and got a new belt and bought the wrench to be able to install it and put some water in it, and drove it the rest of the other hour home. So that car did that.
Just put out a fire.
Yeah.
So that little Subaru took a lot of abuse and just kept going.
Made for the Outback, right?
Yeah.
See, I feel like if there was a car you would put on Top Gear, to survive repeated abuse and keep going, they should have had the Subaru on
Yeah,
there.
not the Toyota.
Yeah. That's what they should have done.
I have another question. This has been a mystery to me for my childhood and adulthood. We talked about having a ton of hamsters breeding on the show, I think, at one point, right? I think so. We talked about when we
Yeah, we've
accidentally
talked about that.
Yeah, when we accidentally bred hamsters.
When they
When they sold us the male and female.
when they brought home 2 hamsters,
And they were like mini hamsters, weren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
They weren't the big one. They
No,
were the little
they're the
teeny
mini
ones.
hamsters, and we
Yeah.
accidentally bred them.
Yeah.
But so we would kind of hand them out in buckets, ice cream buckets, to our neighbors, and we were trying to get rid of them as faster than they can mate, right?
you'd think after you had like 4.
Well, then the babies
You'd
would start
think-
mating, but right as the mom was like okay, done breastfeeding, and then it's like another one's pregnant or something. It's
No,
like,
but-
what happened?
No, but you realize that you had more than 10 starting from 2.
There was, I bet there was a total of 40, maybe.
Like, you made...
Yeah, we had a lot.
There was a lot on accident, and we didn't want them. But we would say, okay, there would be so many sometimes that Dad would say, oh, I'm going to take some to, the farm or my work or somewhere. And where did you actually take them?
They're around the area of the industrial building that I worked in. That's the typical bushes and stuff. That's the landscaping around there. And they just found, because there's other animals that live in those bushes, like the possums and the raccoons and cats and stuff. They just found their way into the bush, and they were happy to be there. And I'm sure there was other animals that were happy to have them.
Take them to Grandma's farm, and
They just enjoyed their lives.
Yep.
Dad would just take hamsters to work.
However short.
Yeah. Just
It's not like mini hamsters are known for their long lifespans anyway. I mean,
No, they're not.
they eat each other anyway.
yeah.
It's true. The mom would always eat the legs, and that would freak me out.
Even Elsa, who had a mini hamster, she ended up having 2 mini hamsters. And like, you know how your mini hamster, you looked at him and you were like, where's his front feet? Right?
I think it was back feet mainly. They would nibble on their back feet.
Right.
Ugh.
Okay. Your mini hamsters had a fight and he was missing feet. Elsa's 2 mini hamsters had a fight, and she looks into her hamster cage and asks her dad why there's a tomato slice in the hamster cage.
Yuck. Ow.
Oh,
And her dad kind of looks and goes,
It's not a tomato.
there is not a tomato slice. Please leave the room.
Poor hamsters.
Yeah.
Hamsters are crazy.
So
we
the
think they're all
moral
nice and
is
small.
don't get mini hamsters or rats, because I thought I was going to throw up and die.
We had rats for like 2 days.
I have never been more nauseous in my entire
That was
life.
so much poop.
I can't decide which pet was a worse idea. The dog, the mini hamsters,
We had a
the
dog?
rats. No, I do.
Oh. I was like, why did we ever do that?
I can't even decide which pet. I don't even understand why parents let their children get pets.
Just get a raccoon.
Honestly, just get a raccoon or like a feral.
Have you seen the guy on the internet that just feeds the raccoons like big old hot dogs each night, and they always come back in like a pack of 20, and they're just rolling around all
that sounds
fat?
awesome.
Okay, so you guys don't even remember the cat.
I remember the baby cat.
Which
I remember the cat.
if you had to score the pets?
Wait, are you talking about the cat or the one we saved?
No, the cat that we actually owned a cat.
it was a Siamese cat,
We owned a cat, and
we
it
went
was
on
our
vacation.
pet.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
I
Yeah,
wasn't alive.
It was early on. I think it was I think we had the cat when we were at the other house, and then when we moved to the current house, that's when it passed away when we were on vacation.
That was very polite.
Yes.
Now that
It's just too bad the people that were taking care of the house didn't take care of the cat, what was left of the cat. They put it in a box and put it in the garage. So
in the
we could-
garage.
so we could...
In the garage.
in the summer,
In the summer.
Oh my!
In the summer.
So that when
The
we
cat-
came home, oh, by the way, the cat passed away. It's in the box in the garage for you to deal with as you please.
Oh, in the garage.
here you go.
Just-
Welcome home.
Just
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dad took care of that. So
So if you had to
see,
score,
So see, when we talked about the poop in the closet,
yeah,
okay, this is nothing compared to rats, mini hamsters, dead cats,
Bunnies.
bunnies, all the different. And see, when I grew up as a kid, like we had cats,
yeah.
and eventually they'd pass away, and we had to go take care of them. That's like, oh, hey, the cat's dead under the bush there, so okay, let's dig a hole in the backyard and put the cat in it. So all of the handling that thing was like no big deal.
If you had to score the pets, which one of them would you never do again?
Oh, the rat was the worst. That was the stinkiest.
That was awful.
I mean, it was a horrible. I mean, it wasn't there that long. I mean, every animal kind of had its downside.
But which one is if all the rest of them get to live in your house except for one?
Oh, geez.
In the house or in the backyard where they,
Like if you're going to have one of the pets that we had at that house again,
who would not be there, or
who would definitely not be there, and who might have a chance of getting in the house?
Oh, the rat would never be there. And as far as getting in,
lifetime ban,
because it was just. I mean, there's no cuteness to it, and it was the stinkiest. The cage it was in was just like, oh my gosh,
It
that's
ruined
horrible.
it.
Yeah.
And they always wanted to run on their wheel in the middle of the night. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they all did.
Like, be quiet.
Geek, 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 or tuck, 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 tuck. Some whatever, depending on the wheel. But as far as who could stay, none of them.
No.
No.
That's
My pets that I have now are perfect for my house because I don't have to feed them. They don't make noise. They, for the most part, don't come in the house.
they had the lizards.
The lizards. Yeah. Those are my pets. It's like, oh, I come out and they see me and they'll just stand and watch me and some will run away, but no problems with them.
You have your space. I have my space. You have your
That's right.
food.
That's right.
I have another question. I have another question.
Go ahead.
On Christmas Day, when Justin kicked you.
Was it Justin or Jacob?
When Justin kicked you thinking it was Jacob.
Oh, that's right.
What went through your brain?
What? It was like that disbelief. Who is that? And what are they doing? Are they high? It's like you just.
what I think happened can't possibly have happened.
What? Because the look on my face when I turned around and looked, it's like, what did you just do?
Why did you kick me?
It's like it was like the disbelief. Like, what? Why is this even happening? What bizarro land am I in?
Nobody kicks the dad.
Under what circumstances is this even possible?
Yeah. Are you looking to die?
I don't believe that what just happened because it couldn't have.
It's Christmas morning. What the? It's like
I'm literally picking up your trash. You boom! Right in the keister.
like what? So,
And then Jacob or Justin realizes it's not Jacob. Oh no. Just
and then at that point, then it becomes funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah. We better be laughing. So
We better be laughing.
Fortunately, there wasn't excessive. I mean, it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't that.
Didn't knock you over.
It pushed me a little bit forward, but I have been kicked in a similar fashion, but with a contact to a more sensitive area that pretty much just makes you go flat on the ground and tears come out of your eyes and you don't want to move for a half an hour.
Yeah.
But I was always, had to tighten up the stomach to that, when you're like 18 years old and your stomach's all nice and tight and buff because you've been doing gymnastics and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like you're invincible. So
I remember when my stomach was all nice and tight because I was doing gymnastics and stuff.
So,
Yeah.
But it came in handy when the biker guy who my friend had gotten in a fight with his brother.
Yeah.
That was a high school student, so he was all bugged. So he brings his dad and his brother, who's a biker guy, to get his revenge.
Oh my gosh.
So they take off after him, and he flies out of there. So the biker guy, well, I'm not going to run that far. That's work. So he sees me. Are you that guy's buddy? Yeah. that guy partner. I go, I know him. It's like that. Well, here, and he tries to punch me in the stomach, and it's like it was just the automatic tighten up because I had been trained for that. It's like he was like, well, that didn't work. It's like he's like he punched me. I'm still standing there. It's like, well, okay. So then he just grabs me by the neck and throws me down.
Oh my!
And I'm just like, peace. I'm out of here.
Goodbye.
This ain't my fight.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
But it's like I wasn't hurt at all.
Oh, geez.
Everybody's like, hey, wow, look at you, Brainerd. You survived the biker dude.
He goes and gets his dad
and his brother.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah,
and his dad was okay with the physically assaulting a minor. That's always fun.
Yeah, it was the three of them went right around him, and I just see these like fists flying, and he pops out from the center of them.
Woo!
And the two of them go off it, and the other and the brother comes over to me. I'm like, oh, grand.
Hey,
you his buddy.
I don't run.
All right.
Oh gosh.
So
that's funny.
But that's a divergent. So some of the weird things that happen when we're friends with people that like to get into trouble.
Yeah. They would go find trouble and then bring it home like a stray cat.
Yeah, pretty much.
And say, "Look, I found this."
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but we still hung around because it was fun. It's a typical male thing. It's like everybody want to live on the edge, right?
Yeah.
Like riding motorcycles, all that stuff. It's things that make your what's the
adrenaline,
dopamine.
and
the dopamine and all those things that get you. It's like this is fun stuff.
Justin, would you go skydiving?
Never.
If I paid,
Never ever.
no dollar amount.
Not for a dollar amount.
Okay, wow.
I mean, there's a dollar amount for everything.
Yeah.
It's just how big is it?
I was right up on that. Everybody has their price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't use the money when
If your mortgage is paid off.
See, you know what's funny is the thing that Josiah said does not happen, right? Which is a dentist wouldn't possibly sit there and sharpen their implements on a sharpening stone in front of you.
That's because it didn't happen.
Okay. Yet, because it did, everything else that Josiah says does not happen to you when you skydive will happen to me.
No, I skydove.
Okay, Dad. How much would
I've
you
never been
skydive?
skydiving.
No.
You
What?
wouldn't jump out of an airplane even if Josiah and Jordan are doing it?
No.
Oh, I already did it.
In younger days, maybe, but in these days, in the old and rickety and brittle and stuff, no.
Yeah. It kind of knocks your furniture in weird places.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when the chute gets pulled, everything goes.
and then the landing,
Yeah, the landing's nice.
Well,
it can be.
whatever happened to the dopamine?
Oh,
That was back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day when the body would produce it. When you get to my age, it's like because like when we went to Magic Mountain that time,
Yeah.
and when I ran on X and all those things, like
Yeah.
this is fun.
Yeah. You're
Nah.
strapped in.
But it's like yeah.
When you're not strapped into anything besides a chute.
I remember we went that roller coaster that has like the teardrop loop in it. It was like feeling my head or feeling myself start to almost pass out because of all it sucks all the blood out of your head and it drives it all into your feet. Like that was the weirdest sensation. Oof.
Well, now that I have panic attacks before I get onto roller coasters, and my body locks up, because it's almost
Welcome
like
to the club.
Yeah.
Josiah's always had that. Justin's developed this recently.
But I want to go on the roller. I've been on a roller coaster like 1,000 million times.
As I'm getting older, my equilibrium and tummy kind of gets more upset, but it doesn't. I don't have panic attacks, going on the ride.
Because that's what I used to be, and I found that if you start with like the little kiddie roller coaster and you just do that a couple times so it gets your body kind of used to the jostle around and everything. And then you find, okay, what's the next step up that's maybe an adult one, but a kind of a easier one?
Yeah, we'll take you to
And you
tunes.
start stepping yourself up so you kind of get your body accustomed to it. Then you get up into the good stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, it's not as bad.
See, I find that I get the biggest rush. There's like Goliath, that has the good, like, super fast and everything, and then there's X2, and that does like flippies through the air on like pintle mounted seats, so that you have like 3-axis roller coaster rides, right? But I've always found the excessive gang activity to be the most, heart racing,
Excessive what?
gang activity at Six Flags.
outside of the gang.
Yes,
Like thugs.
Yeah. Like,
Men.
yeah,
with-
the ones that were in the bathroom that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always find that to be the most exhilarating.
Yes. That's why I go to Dodgers games. It's exhilarating.
It's more.
I've never been to a Dodgers game, by the way.
It's exactly what you think it is. Like when you think
Just shankings outside of the Dodgers Stadium every time.
Yes, just you walk by and you're like, oh, like there's like a splash zone.
Like they have security in and shankings on the way
Yeah,
out.
and
Oh, he'll go. Oh, he almost got me.
It got on my poncho, and I'm like, whoa, geez, guys, calm down. Yeah,
That's funny. This is when we normally play the music.
Yeah, I would hit that button and it would go.
Yay!
Well, thank you for
You're-
joining us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you for
Thanks for
coming.
joining us,
Thank you, Dad, for coming.
You're welcome.
It was so much fun.
Anytime.
We'll have you We'll have you on in a while to watch the wedding videos.
Yes, we will watch the Forbidden Wedding videos.
Yeah.
Another on
Okay,
next
bye.
time. Bye.
Bye.